Hello students, past and present. Here is the first of my promised videos, which I've been promising for, I don't know, it feels like 1,000 years now, but here we are. The first one I will be doing is the patch pocket, unlined, but I am, for your entertainment, going to add a piece of backing. That'd be nice for you. I'm not going to actually show that in the video because it's very boring. You're also going to see a lot of this delightful fabric because my nana gave it to me very many years ago, before she died, and it has that lovely old smell to it that will never leave. So this is its destination, is to be used for tutorials. It even has like marks in it as if it started to rot away, so that's nice. Anyway, you'll probably get very bored of this fabric and my voice, and for anyone who misses my delightful face, it might make an appearance one day. It probably won't, but here we go. So first of all, I'm going to quickly dash off and attach these two pieces together. It'll be like magic. And I'm very sorry that the camera keeps shaking. This is a very rudimental setup I have here, and I'm not actually sure how I'm going to sew because there's just stuff everywhere, and obviously because the camera is attached to the table and I knock the table, the camera moves and there's some shaking. I will try my best not to do that, and if it becomes a real problem I might have to invest in something expensive that works properly. Anyway, off to go in, do some ironing. Oh, and I'm going to actually overlock the edges afterwards, which obviously if you don't have an overlocker, zigzag stitch is perfectly fine. Okay, I haven't actually overlocked it yet, but I have, look at that magic, ta-da, attached, because I just want to show you, you know, this pocket maker, I'm going to call it. I don't think that's what it's called. That's what I'm calling it. Use that to create your corners. I'm going to use the rounded one which says 3 centimeters on it. I guess it's a 3 centimeter curve. There we go. I'm just going to do that. And then when I do the overlocking, I'm just going to trim those corners because then I'm going to get a nice curved hem. Curved bottom. Sounds weird. Which is kind of what I want. Alright, I'm going to go and do that now. Okay, so I have overlocked around the edges. Ignore the overlocking because my overlocker decided today was the day it wanted to make me look stupid. Also, don't do what I did and try to trim the corners as you go with the overlocker. That doesn't work. Trim them first. Yeah. So now I'm going to fold this bit over. I'm not going to press it because I can't be bothered. You guys can press it. You can do whatever you like, actually. And then just going to stitch along the bottom. This is so weird. I'm trying to sew whilst making sure it all stays within the camera. So I have to look at the camera, look at my hands, look at my camera. Anyway, blah blah blah. So now I have to do the stitch lines around the corner, long stitches, and only do a back stitch at one end because then we're going to pull the stitching to help create our curve. And I'm going to start, I guess, about midway, sort of on the edge-ish. So I'm doing it along the edge of my overlocking stitch. I guess if you've got zigzag, you could do it along the edge of that. You just don't really want to do it too far in that way. So I'm going to do a back stitch at the beginning and not at the end. And on a long stitch, so by the way, for those of you who are unfamiliar with oh my god, not domestic, what is it? Industrial sewing machines. This isn't magic. There's a knee bar underneath the machine, which also makes the camera wobble, which is helpful, that I press with my knee, and that's what lifts the foot up. There's not magical powers going on here. So we leave a long length of string thread. Sorry, my brain is not working today, because we need that to pull, so I need to make sure that's a long bit there, and we'll start again kind of just about a centimetre away from where we stopped. Back stitch, stop wobbling, go all the way around. Again, leave a long length of thread. So now, if you grab on the first row of stitching we did, top thread, and just pull, keep pulling the pleating along, gathering, pleating, and then when you turn it over, it will create the curve. So the more you pull it, the tighter the curve. So we're going to pull it a bit more, I think. Also, I'm sorry about my nails. I painted them to make them look less rubbish, but now they glare at you, and I can't stop looking at them when I look through the camera lens, and so probably you can't either. And I'm very sorry about that. But also, ignore them and concentrate on the sewing. So, there's one. Right, we'll do the other one. Sorry, I randomly might go into a German accent, and I don't mean to do it. It just happens. I don't know why. I did live in Germany. It's not that weird. So now you have created your corners, well, not really corners, curves. Then you will go over to the iron. Look at how even they are. It's incredible. I have no idea what's going on there. I think maybe that one's a bit tight. I'll loosen that one. Basically, you just have to fiddle with them to get them right. Go over to the iron, which is what I'm going to do in a minute, and play with your pleats until they are kind of even. Press it into place. I'm going to go and do that so that you don't get to have to watch me spend hours sorting this monstrosity out. What's going on? Well, maybe you could have that as a feature, like a weird shaped pocket. That's not that weird, but you know. Maybe if you have one on each side and they're both slightly slanted like that at the bottom, it will look nice, you know, pointing down towards the front. Or not, whatever you want. Anyway, I'm going to go and press this. Bye-bye. And ta-da! There we go. You see, look at that. Perfect-ish. See, so the gathering we did in the corners, as you can see, they're very equal on both sides there. You won't see that, it's fine. The gathering that we did in the corners is just as a guide to help give you neat corners on the outside. It doesn't really matter what it looks like on the inside. I know everybody tells you it's what's on the inside that counts, but not when it comes to pockets. Anyway, I just want to apologise to anyone who's found themselves here by accident. No, you can stay or leave, whatever you want, but I just wanted to apologise in advance. So I'm going to pop this onto the back of this fabric because, you know, I don't want to completely assault your eyes with more of this fabric. And well, that does look kind of cool. I don't know which way. That way. That's allows you to see the pocket properly. Let's do it on this side. Now I'm literally just going to stitch it. Now if you were attaching it to a garment, you would probably want to pin it into place first to make sure it's in exactly the right place, and possibly hand stitch it into place as well. You can do like a couple of just big hand stitch across there. You don't have to go around it because you're going to stitch around it, so best to keep the hand stitching out of the way of the machine stitching. So if you did need to stitch it into place so it's not going to move, then just, you know, a couple of big stitches across the middle there would be absolutely fine. And then just going to stitch around the outside. I've kept my massive stitching on. Oh well, it's not like I'm going to be using the pocket. I would suggest that you guys do not keep your massive stitching on unless you want that as a feature, in which case then do that. I'm going to reduce the size of my stitch length now and do the corners. Also, I do think I'm losing my mind, so I do forget things and have to just come up with names for stuff when I can't remember what it's called. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm going to do something about this shaking camera, aren't I? Right. I'm just going to do the corners, just a little bit at the top, and then a little bit down, across the corner. Try and match the stitching that's already there. I don't know if these look close. I should probably do these videos in the daytime when I actually have some real light as well. And then just go back up to the stitching. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe it's easier to see from the back. See, there's a little triangle in the corner. There's not one on that side. I'll do one on that side, and then you'll be able to see one on both sides. You lucky people. What's weird is doing this. It's just, oh my god. Basically me talking to myself while I sew, which is what I do most of the time. There we go. Another little triangle there. Lots of thread everywhere. Get rid of that, get rid of that. And there's a tiny fly. Bye bye. Back again. It's attracted to my light. Not my light. Oh, it's on my hand. ignoring the tiny fly. Thank you. We are done. Ta-da! There is your patch pocket. Well done, ladies and gentlemen, for creating a patch pocket, if you did create one, or well done for watching me create a patch pocket, which is probably just as difficult. So, I mean, making a patch pocket isn't too difficult. You know what I mean. So yes, well done, patch pocket created. Tick the box. Congratulations.